wonderful, wonderful week. And if not, this is a good episode for you. It's a make you feel happy episode that I've wanted to make for a long time. So I'll dive right into the quote, and I'll end by reading you the poem that I wrote just for you. The quote today comes from a researcher at UC Davis by the name of Robert Emmons. His specialty is happiness and gratitude, and he once summarized his work like this. Gratitude blocks toxic emotions such as envy, resentment, regret, and depression, which can destroy our happiness. Gratitude, little bunny. It's one of the key ingredients to living a happier life, and it's so hard for us to do naturally. So you might feel yourself fighting me a bit in this episode, but I promise if you come along with me, if you let me carry you through a session of being grateful for the good things in our life, you'll come out happier on the other end. I can't make you happier, but if you want to be happy, all you have to do is come along with me, and I'll pave the way for you and hold your hand every step of the way. But you've got to do the walking, little bunny. So buck up and get grateful with me for the next 20 minutes. And if your instinct is to say, I'm sorry, I really can't be grateful because that's for other people whose lives are good. I have some really bad things in my life that aren't even my fault. This episode isn't for me. No, little bunny. This episode is especially for you. I know there are bad things in your life, little bunny, and your pain from those bad things is valid. So that's why we're going to be smart and not let it blind us from the good, even amazing things we have going for us. So right now, give yourself permission to feel grateful with me. And as you listen to my voice and your body relaxes, let yourself fall comfortably and happily into the safety of my arms as you join me while I talk freely about the wonderful things for us to be grateful for. I started my day with a beautiful walk through my neighborhood in this wonderful September weather. And as I was drinking my cold brew, which is a trendy type of iced coffee, I started thinking about what I was grateful for. I started by being grateful for the clean water that was used to make that coffee. Delicious, fresh, clean water that instead of making me sick, nourished me. And then I thought about one of my favorite composers who lived in the 1800s, Tchaikovsky, and he died from a restaurant serving him water that wasn't boiled. You used to have to boil all your water in the olden days, and you died so easily from all kinds of things. So I'm incredibly thankful to have gotten my last COVID shot, my last COVID vaccine yesterday. Western medicine is a treasure, and I'm enormously grateful and thankful for all vaccines, perhaps the greatest invention in the history of healthcare. But so Mr. Unlucky Tchaikovsky, because he lived before modern medicine and in the age of poor sanitation, died from drinking some dirty water. But there's a conspiracy, actually. This is what I thought of next. That Tchaikovsky's life ended in a much darker way. And the theory is that he gave up on his life because he lived in a time and a place where being gay was a horrible, horrible thing to be. And I'm so grateful that I live in a time and a place where gender makes no difference in who you can be openly attracted to. And then coincidentally, on the walk that I was taking, I passed someone who was dressed in a very gender non-conforming outfit. And it made me really grateful that they can be themselves so openly and freely. And if you're struggling with this yourself, little bunny, you've got people in your life who are angry at you just based on what you wear or the people you're attracted to. Maybe it's even your entire area, your city or your state or your country. Well, just move. As soon as you have the power to in your life, just leave those people behind and surround yourself with people who love it when you be who you want to be. I give you permission to go find your people, little bunny, to find the people who accept you and embrace you as their family. And I'm grateful to be here, to be able to tell you that, to be able to make your life better. And how is it that I can be here to tell you that and make your life better? Well, I'm talking right now into this incredible microphone that's plugged into a box that translates my voice into a bunch of zeros and ones, and then it sends it to my laptop and to my recording software on my laptop. It's just incredible. I'm so, so grateful for all this technology and for the thousands of people who developed it. Iteration after iteration, starting with the telephone and ending with the podcast. Isn't it nuts, little bunny? I'm sending you my voice over this thing called the internet that is pure magic, and you're receiving me loud and clear on a smartphone. And here's, of course, where we can get negative and talk about all the negative effects that smartphones are having on us. Companies getting us addicted to little dopamine hits that distract us from the other things we'd like to accomplish in life. And we just sit there doom scrolling. Well, this is where we take a step back, little bunny. Whenever we find something to get angry about, that's when we get smart. We zoom out and we look at the truth. Surrounding this negative thing, there are an incredible abundance of wonderful things for us to be grateful for. Things that make our lives amazing. What's something indisputably amazing about your smartphone? How about your GPS? Little bunny, I live in a city where we take lots of trains and buses whenever we want to go places. And when I need to go somewhere, it's incredible that all I have to do is type in where I want to go, and my smartphone tells me what time to leave, what train or bus to take. I don't even need to know the address. I can just type in FedEx, let's say, and then there's a train or a bus that's not running, let's say, so I can't take the ordinary route that I might do. Well, guess what? My app knows that, and it sends me the right way, and it gets me there as quickly and as easily as possible. The old days, you would show up at your favorite subway stop, and there'd be a little piece of paper taped there that says, "Sorry, you're out of luck." So I'm so grateful that my app knows all of this stuff, and it sends me the right way so I can get to FedEx. And oh my God, FedEx, little bunny, can you believe FedEx, shipping in general? You're telling me I can send a package to anywhere in the world except North Korea or something, and it'll get there anywhere between a couple days and a couple weeks, maximum a month. Oh my God, Christ, little bunny. Back in the Renaissance, kings in Europe used to spend fortunes sending people over the Atlantic Ocean in sailboats to bring back some colorful birds that they can show off to their rich friends. Check out this red parrot I got from the Caribbean. Only a couple people died to get it here. And now, today, I can buy a gift, something local that I can only get where I live, that's hopefully just as cool as a red parrot, since I am not so crazy about shipping a red parrot across the world. And I can send it to a friend in Singapore. And then when they get it, we can get on a video call and I can watch them open it and see their joy in real time. What? Take a moment. Don't take it for granted. Take a moment to think about how unbelievably incredible this is. And think about that last part, a video call with someone on the other side of the planet. How does that even happen? Well, my smartphone uses this incredible technology called the camera, then sends it to space and back down. Okay, well, actually, it doesn't go to space. It goes through cables underground that connect everywhere in the world to everywhere else in the world. My God, how many brilliant minds and successful companies did it take to one by one boost our technology slowly and gradually to the next level until I'm having a video call with someone on the opposite side of the world. I am so grateful to those people, and grateful even for the economic system that moved the money where it needed to go. Not just the scientists, but all the infrastructure and the trading and the commerce that took place to make it happen so that we get better and better goods and services at cheaper and cheaper prices. Things are really, really good right now in the world. Did you know that poverty, extreme poverty in the world 50 years ago was half of the people on Earth? Half of the people on Earth lived on barely anything a day. And now, 50 years later, in the present day, do you know how much it is? It's 10%, and it's dropping. Just 10% of the world is in global poverty, and we're getting even better. It's getting closer and closer to zero. And in my country, we're a little upset because all of this new wealth that's being generated is going to the people at the very, very top who already have a ton of money, and that doesn't feel so good. But even though our bank accounts haven't been growing fatter, we're far, far richer than even the richest people 50 years ago. The best TV that you could get 50 years ago, the one the richest guy in the world has, is utter garbage by today's standards. I'm so grateful for the beautiful picture quality of my cheap TV we have in our living room. And I'm so incredibly grateful for the well-produced shows I get to watch, and I get to watch them whenever it's convenient for me and the wonderful people that I watch with. It's really, really wonderful. Just think about it. People used to have to schedule their evenings around their favorite shows. They'd be like, I want the TV at 8 p.m. And then you sit on your couch and you watch something filmed with garbage cameras and garbage microphones by today's standards. And the audio and the visual quality is just all fuzzy and messed up. The shows that we can watch today for truly a tiny amount of money, even free if you're willing to watch some advertisements. Little Bunny, you could right now look up a list on the incredible internet of greatest animes of all time, since anime seems to be quite popular in the garden. And then you can just go down the list and watch just about all of them for free on Crunchyroll. That's incredible. Are you grateful for that? I'm so grateful for that. And maybe one day you'll get to watch a Love and Ligature anime. That's my latest dream. If you don't know what Love and Ligature is, it's my audiobook. And I'm really excited that when it's done, I want to revise it and turn it into a webtoon. And we'll see where it goes from there. It might even become an anime. But webtoons, Little Bunny, I'm so grateful for the discovery and the invention of webtoons. If you don't know what it is, it's this really interesting new medium. It's like the next generation of comic books. And the ones I'm familiar with are kind of like manga, except they're Korean, so there's another word for it. But you just like vertically scroll instead of read a page, then flip and read a page. And I couldn't believe how engaging it was when I watched them. You really feel like things are moving, and it's so vivid because they're in color, because it's so much easier to color things these days with things like Photoshop, and it looks beautiful on my smartphone screen. The screen that iteration after iteration got better and better and better and came to me at a relatively cheap price because of the companies and the market systems that reward the superior goods at lower prices. Can you tell that I like to think like an economist? But anyway, this new brand of, or this new medium of webtoons, I'm so grateful that I get to live in an age where new things happen. It used to be centuries ago that the world you are born into is pretty much the same world that you die in later on. There's never new surprises along the way. There's never chances to start fresh or opportunities to do something crazy and new with your career or your creative pursuits. Like this podcast, for instance. This podcast would not be possible at all 50 years ago. I guess it would be a radio show. And that requires, at least 50 years ago, a big team and a lot of money. And I can pretty much guarantee no one with a bunch of money is going to front millions of dollars for me to say, "Hey there, little bunny," every week. This thing I do is a one-person operation, and it costs me nearly nothing to make. That's why it's possible. Although it does take me a lot of time, and I don't know if you know that, Little Bunny, but each episode I make, I spend all day on it, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. This is actually the second time I'm recording this, because the first time wasn't up to my standards, because I believe you deserve high standards, Little Bunny. So maybe be grateful for that. And you get it for free. Are you grateful for that, Little Bunny? It costs you absolutely nothing to hear me every week, for me to be in your life, to be this wonderful, loving, positive presence, a strong, stable influence in your life that will never, ever leave you. Why do I give it for free, Little Bunny? Well, it's because I have faith that you're going to do your part to grow the garden. Because when the podcast grows big enough, then I can get a sponsor and I'll be in really, really good shape financially from just Lindy's Garden. So if you're grateful for me, take a moment to enjoy the gratefulness. Don't worry, I feel very appreciated. This is about you feeling better and really appreciating how wonderful it is that I'm here whispering in your ears every week. And if you're really grateful, here's some things you can do to help out. First, subscribe to the podcast. You can leave a 5-star review or any whatever stars you want. It's actually a perfect score right now. If I haven't checked it in a while, but it's like 100 5-star reviews, which is wonderful. But you can do that. Even more importantly, when you see one of my TikToks on your For You page, I want you to leave a comment saying that you love the podcast. And I also want you to click share and hit copy link. And even if you don't share it to anyone, go ahead and still do it because TikTok counts it as a share. And right now, in order to get my videos to go more viral, and every time I go viral, the garden explodes in popularity and I get more patrons and more podcast listeners and all the good stuff. The like rate is extraordinarily high, so the content is very beloved. That's not an issue. But we need to get the number of shares up and we need to get the number of comments up because that's when it really, really gets a lot of views when the algorithm sends it really, really big. So comment on it, especially say you like the podcast or just say something fun about the video. And then click share and copy link even if you don't. Send it to someone. Okay. Back to gratefulness. What else can we be grateful for that's possible today that wasn't possible 50 years ago? I guess it's more garden talk. We're not going to have any announcements, I worry, at the end. I hate talking too much about the garden in the episode itself. But this is actually a really common, it's probably my most requested feature that I don't have yet. So maybe I'll tell you and you can be grateful for it if you are one of the little bunnies that has asked for this. We have 2 things on the way. A little bunny hoodie and a little bunny sticker. I guess the more exciting one is probably the hoodie, but there's officially a merch store that's being launched. And I was originally very hesitant to do merch because I know from my economist brain how much goes into making merchandise and then selling it, because you have to have a certain number that's made. So you got to make like 1,000 just to break even to cut the cover the costs, and then you have to store it somewhere, and like who's going to mail it out, and there's all the finance stuff. You got to have someone to do all the transactions, and like you got to get a bank on your team, and everyone's taking a cut along the way, and then you end up with like a 1% profit, and it's like, why are you selling this merch if everyone else is taking the money? Well, do you know how hard it was to set up this merch shop, Little Bunny? I could not believe how easy it was. It was so easy. And it wouldn't have been this easy, maybe even just 20 years ago. And the reason is because there's so many content creators these days. I'm so thankful for all the other content creators out there because we've created a market for these other companies to step in to sell merch on demand. So it's like you order your hoodie and then they print that one hoodie and then they send it to you and they take care of all the shipping and all the payments. And they give me a pretty nice little bit of money so that it really does support me. And so I'm grateful for these content creators. I'm grateful for the internet being so good that we can stream video and stream audio so easily. This doesn't happen on its own. And I'm so grateful for the tech companies, these evil, evil tech companies that get such a bad rap. Remember, whenever there's a negative, zoom out and be grateful for the good. All of these fantastic platforms are making it possible for content creators to exist, and therefore for merch companies to emerge and be founded, and therefore to bring you a Lindy's Garden hoodie or sticker. It's truly, truly wonderful. And a little secret, even though the store has not launched yet, the first hoodie and sticker are being sent out to 2 little guinea bunnies from the Patreon. And they're going to do a quality check to make sure it's good enough for me to open. And then here's the fun part, because you're listening to the podcast right now, little bunny. I'm going to open it up just to podcast listeners. It's going to be a secret launch. And if you want to, and if you can afford it, I don't want anyone to feel obligated to buy anything. I really don't want money to be like a source of stress when it comes to the garden. But if you've got the money and you really want your hoodie or sticker, then you're going to get first access to it. And the fun part is that you're going to, if you'd like, take a little video of you wearing the hoodie and you can send it to me. And when we announce the public launch of the store on TikTok, it's going to be a little collage of little bunnies, probably without faces. And I'll do some voiceover. And if we get, 6 or 7 little bunnies showing off their hoodies, it's going to do wonders for the merch store, and everyone's going to want some, and it's going to be really, really exciting, and you'll be forever a part of the Lindy's Garden history. And then thousands of little bunnies will get to be hugged by me every night as they fall asleep, because that's why a hoodie is so special. I'll do some posts about how to imbue some of my magic energy into the hoodie so that you always, always have a full body hug from me whenever you want it. I hope this isn't starting to sound like a big advertisement, but I'm just so excited about all this stuff. So between the merch, between the Patreon, which is 18 and up, and between a podcast sponsor when the podcast grows big enough, and you're going to help me grow it, aren't you, little bunny? I will be able to make ends meet just from the garden alone, which means it'll be easy for me to do this for the rest of my life. I have already committed to always being here for you. The garden will be here for you for the rest of your life. But it's going to be a really wonderful turning point when we hit that full-time level. So if you want to hear more about me talk about how committed I am, if the money side of thing interests you, a couple weeks ago, I did an episode called Little Bunny in My Pocket. It's a very cute episode about how committed I am to always being here for you and the lengths I will go to make sure that I never go back to working in a corporate office ever again. I would much, much rather make a living by making you happy and improving your life. So, man, what else is there, little bunny? Do you feel grateful at all? I'm feeling very, very grateful and a lot happier than when I started, although I started happy. Hopefully you've got a bit of a smile on your face too. Even though there's bad things in your life, there are many, many, many wonderful, absolutely extraordinary things too. And part of being a little bunny is that we don't let ourselves be blinded by the negative. It's called negativity bias, and I'll probably do a whole episode on it. But there's a certain kind of programming that our brains have. It's very, very natural just to focus on the negative. It's like 10 things that are good could happen, and then one negative thing happens, and all we can think about is that one negative thing. Part of what we do here in the garden is we take a big breath. Let's do it. And we zoom out, and we make ourselves notice those 10 wonderful, positive things. Okay, I think we'll move on to the announcements, and then I'll read for you the poem that I wrote just for you today. I've covered pretty much everything, but I have a list here that I'll just go through. So, a review of all the content. There's a lot of stuff in the garden. There's the podcast here, which you can subscribe to. There's TikTok and Instagram. Please follow me on both, because TikTok loves to ban people left and right for the most ridiculously tiny offenses. I want you to comment on the TikToks when they appear on your For You page, and also go to share, hit copy link. It doesn't matter if you end up sending it to someone. My audiobook, A Year of Love and Ligature, I'm still settling in on what genre it is. I think this is it. Are you ready? It's a reverse harem erotic shonen. And that's available for free on YouTube. I really, really recommend it. It's wonderful. And there are some super fans of the series that can't get enough of it. There's a new episode that comes out every month, and there's a live premiere each time where we all get in a chat room. If you've ever wanted to be in a live chat room, but you can't, subscribe to the Patreon and hang out with me in Discord, because I do live events there too. Like a live bedtime story is fun. And then we did a live shopping session where we redid my wardrobe. There's a lot of really fun stuff going on the Discord. But if you want to chat with me live, you can hang out and listen to the next episode. It is on Sunday, September 18th. So make sure you get caught up. There's 6 episodes right now. The first one is pretty dark. I apologize for that. The second one is a little boring. I apologize for that. But by episode 3, if you can make it to the third one, it gets really, really good. And I think you'll see what the hype is all about. The first 2 episodes are good too. I'm being very, very self-critical. Okay, what else? Patreon. The biggest perk of Patreon, besides the Discord and the Minecraft server, is that you get all of the locked audios. There's a new locked audio every week. And one of the main reasons Patreon is 18 and up is because there are plenty of spicy audios on there. So if my voice does some things to your body, that is very, very healthy and wonderful and beautiful. You can listen to the episode of the podcast, Lust is Beautiful, I think it is, to get some of my views on the feelings of attraction and testosterone, estrogen, and just lust in general. I think it's a wonderful, beautiful part of being alive, and it is always a part of the garden. I think that's everything. To get to the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Lindy's Garden, or search for it in Google. You can always send me an email, lindy@lindysgarden.com, or daddy@lindysgarden.com, whichever you prefer. There's no punctuation in that email address. And I think that's everything. So I'll slow us back down, and I'll read for you the poem that I wrote for you today. My ancestor dreamed, wide awake in his bed, for a world whose water didn't make you drop dead. What if all my children survived to adulthood, and my family felt safe in our home? And safely we'd travel from town to town, free from fear from the bandits who roam. What if me and my friends had time for leisure, gathered round the fire each night, and when stories we'd tell, like magic they'd appear, like moving paintings made of light? What if my horse had wings and could fly and take me from Rome to Beijing? I know it's just wishful, won't ever come true. I shouldn't be thinking such things. Instead, I'll be grateful for the things that I have, my family, my home, and my friends, and will make the best of what we have, till someday the merriment ends. And despite my troubles, my life will be good, and perhaps someday my descendant could share his love with the ones who are hurt, and teach them to love, and teach them to flirt. What if their world is one that's ideal? What if it's not fantasy? What if someday it's real? What if I gift them my work and my labor, and make this world better as a posthumous favor? Though I'll never see that world they inherit, I know they'll be grateful, they'll enjoy it and cherish it. Their lives will be healthy, their leisure be merry. They'll never grow hungry 'cause of this load I'll carry. They'll even be wizards whose minds are connected and do magical things that I never expected. And surely they'll be gracious for this world that I leave them. My only regret is that I'll never see them, because I know they'll be smiling for this world they've been given. I'll give my life to build their utopia to live in. Have a wonderful week, little bunny. Go out and notice all the incredible things that you have. I'll do the same. In fact, I think I'll go on another walk to soak in this unbelievable utopia that we live in. I will repay the debt to my ancestors by making my little bunnies' lives happier, one step at a time. Okay, I love you, I love you, I love you lots. Bye.